Hare Krishna. Let us understand Bhagavad Gita chapter by chapter, section by section. To begin with, let us offer our prayers to our spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and to the Supreme Lord. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrandam Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we will be understanding the second section of the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Transcendental Knowledge. This second section is from Shloka number 9 to 15. And this section is entitled Liberation by Working in Divine Consciousness. So let us understand this section. So Lord Krishna, he was explaining to Arjuna about how he is different from all other living beings. And Krishna appears in this material world again and again to re-establish the religious principles and to protect the devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. So Krishna now goes on explaining about the effects of knowing him in truth. So Krishna says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Krishna says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So Krishna is telling, Janma karma cha me divyam. Krishna is telling that my birth and my activities are divya. Divya means divine. It is not of this material world. The activities of all the conditioned souls in this material world are under the influence of time and Prakriti, material nature, and one gets reaction to the actions he performs. But Krishna's birth and activities are not like that. Here, we conditioned souls, we take birth based on the reactions to our past activities. There are laws of karma. Those who do good karmas, they get beautiful bodies, they get wealth, they get intelligence, they get birth in very good aristocratic families or highly elevated Brahmanas families, or they may even may be transferred to the heavenly planets, Svarga Lokas. So there are reactions. According to one's own actions, one gets a future body. And those who perform sinful activities, they get a reaction in the form of ugly bodily features, poverty, diseases, and even taking birth in lower species of life. So in that way, according to one's own karmas, we are put in different material bodies and we enjoy or suffer the reactions of our own past activities. But Krishna's birth is not like that. Krishna is Supreme Lord. He has no reactions or actions. Whatever he does is good, and then he is having no reactions for his own actions. So Krishna is telling Janma Karma Chame Divyam, and whatever Krishna does, that is also good for everyone. Whether Krishna protects a devotee or Krishna annihilates a demon, it is all good for those whom he is protecting or killing. So all living beings are parts of Krishna. So whenever Krishna does anything to any one of them, it is good for that living being. Therefore, Krishna's birth and activities are divya, transcendental. They are not of this material world. So Krishna is telling, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha. If we understand Krishna's birth and activities properly, and then what happens? Tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti sorjuna. Such a person who understands Krishna correctly in truth, he will return to Krishna after giving up this material body. He will not take birth again in this material world. So this is the benefit of understanding Bhagavad Gita and understanding Krishna properly. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is one person in the entire existence who is different from every living being. He is Supreme Lord. He is not an ordinary person. So this we have to keep in mind. So Krishna says next, Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhava magataha. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So Krishna is telling that in order to achieve transcendental love for Krishna and get liberated and go back to our original home in the spiritual world, one has to be free from Vita Raga, Bhaya and Krodha. One has to be free from material attachment, one has to be free from fear, and one has to be free from anger. There are three types of people here described by Krishna. One type of people are those who are attached for material enjoyment, those who are attached to enjoy bodily sense pleasures. These people, they try to avoid spiritual life. They don't want to understand Krishna, they don't like to understand Bhagavad Gita, they don't like to go to temples and worship the Supreme Lord, they don't celebrate festivals. They feel it's all biological, we are made of chemicals, and then there is no God, it's just one's own feeling, personal feeling. If you like, you worship. If you don't like, we need not worship. This type of understanding one category of people are having. Generally in this stage, most of them are like this. They don't believe in God, or they are just neutral because they don't have knowledge about the Supreme Lord. Such kind of people, they will not achieve the Supreme Lord because they are negligent about spiritual life. And the second category are, they are afraid, those people who are afraid of individuality. They think that because while living in this material world, we face many difficulties while living. The difficulties come in three ways: Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika and Adi Daivika. Adhyatmika klesha means sufferings that we get because of our own material bodies in the form of birth, death, old age, disease, and we also get disturbances in our mind because of various reasons. That is called Adhyatmika klesha. And Adi Bhautika klesha, that is because of sufferings that we get because of other living beings. It's like mosquitoes come and bite us, or snakes, or dogs bark at us, or dogs bite us, or there are wild animals. And there may be envious people who are always creating some trouble to us. That is called Adi Bhautika klesha. And the third type of suffering is Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika means the sufferings we get because of material nature in the form of earthquakes, floods, tornadoes, tsunamis, severe heat, severe cold. So these are all sufferings of this material world. And those who are ignorant about spiritual understanding, the reality of life, they think that it's better to give up our own individuality and merge into Supreme. They think that we are all formless. Once we get liberated, then we lose our individuality and merge into that one Supreme Absolute. And by doing this, we will have no more suffering. They feel that maintaining an individuality as an individual person is the cause of all suffering. Better destroy the individuality and merge in the Supreme. So they are afraid of individuality as a person and they want to merge in Supreme. So these type of people also, they will not achieve the supreme perfection of spiritual life because they don't understand that God is a person and we are all individual persons, we are all parts of God, and there is a loving relationship between us and Supreme Lord. And the third category are, they see that there are different understandings, different groups tell different things about spiritual life, and they feel it's all very difficult and complicated, and they're very angry and they don't want to practice any of the spiritual instructions. So we have to properly understand what is spiritual life under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. Just like to become a doctor or an engineer, we have to get admitted to a engineering college or a medical college, and under the expert guidance of the professors there, we have to learn both theory and practicals and then work under an expert doctor or an expert engineer for a few years. Then we will become fully acquainted with those subjects. In the same way, to understand God, to understand who am I, to understand what is this creation and what is my role, how should I live, what is happiness, to understand all these important aspects of life, we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master. As I have explained in previous sections, there are 4 paramparas, 4 discyclic successions in which the transcendental knowledge is disseminated and propagated. So we have to approach one of the 4 paramparas and approach a spiritual master in that parampara and learn from him what is life and how to be happy. Without doing this, vaguely understanding here and there and watching some so-called speeches or anything here and there, picking up some concepts or books according to our own choices, we cannot understand spirituality in that way. So we have to be serious because it's about our life, it's about our happiness. So we have to seriously take instructions from a pure devotee, learn from him how to live, how to mold our life according to the spiritual instructions given in the Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic scriptures. And in that way we have to make spiritual advancement. So very clearly Krishna is telling that I am a person and we can relate with Krishna in loving relationships and enjoy with Krishna forever. We don't have to lose our individuality because we are all individual persons and we get satisfaction in loving relationship, in lovingly serving Krishna, in lovingly pleasing Krishna. We will automatically get satisfaction. So these 3 kind of people, they will not achieve perfection. Those who are attached for material sense pleasures, they are away from spirituality. Second category, those who are afraid of individual personal existence, they want to merge into the impersonal feature of God, they will also not be happy. And the third category are those people who are confused about various spiritual instructions given by different groups and they are afraid of that and they are angry at them. They neglect all the spiritual instructions. So avoiding spiritual knowledge, avoiding approaching a spiritual master, avoiding to put efforts to know about spiritual life, that will not give us any satisfaction. So those who are really serious about one's own happiness, we have to approach a spiritual master and learn from him about how to live and what is the ultimate perfection of life and make one's life successful. So Krishna is telling many such people, Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhava Magata. Many people in the past, they have got this transcendental knowledge in the parampara. They followed those instructions, they became purified and then they achieved the supreme perfection. So further Krishna says, Ye thamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. All of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So, ye thamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham. There are different categories of people, each of them are having their own desires. And Krishna understands the desires of every living being and he satisfies them. Those who are materialists, they don't have any higher spiritual understanding. They think that achieving material pleasures is the aim of life. They work hard and they earn money and they want to have luxurious houses and cars and various kinds of material enjoyment. They think that enjoyment is bodily sense pleasures. So Krishna satisfies them also as Yajneshwara. And those who want to merge in the Supreme and lose their existence, Krishna absorbs them in his impersonal Brahma Jyoti feature. And those who are devotees, they want to serve Krishna in various loving relationships. So Krishna satisfies them also. In the material world, there are devotees who worship the deity form of Krishna, and Krishna supplies all the necessary ingredients for their worship. And those who are in the spiritual world, Krishna reciprocates with them in various loving devotional pastimes. So in this way, Krishna satisfies everyone. Ye athamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. Everyone follows Krishna's path in all respects. Then further Krishna says, Kangshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devata kshipram imanushe loke siddhir bhavati karmajam. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So Krishna is now telling that there are people who want to enjoy material pleasures. They worship various demigods or devatas. Kangshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devata. They don't approach the Supreme Lord for getting liberated and going back to the spiritual world and enjoy. They feel that enjoyment means material pleasures and they go to various devatas. Devatas are not Supreme Lord. Many people, they are confused about the devatas and the Supreme Lord. They think that all devatas are one. Any god you worship with faith and devotion, it is fine. No, it is not like that. Krishna has appointed different devatas for the universal management of this material world. There is sun god who supplies heat and light in this universe. There is moon god. He influences the vegetation. Because of the influence of moon, the fruits and vegetables, they get nourished and they're juicy. And it's very important for us to have nutritious grains and fruits and vegetables. There is a wind god, Vayu Deva, there is Varuna Deva, there like the different departments are there, managed by different living beings who are highly pious and they have been appointed there to supply the ingredients according to one's own karmas. So they're all appointed agents of the Supreme Lord. Without understanding who are the devatas and who is the Supreme Lord, people, they approach various devatas like Durga, Ganesha or Kartikeya or other gods and they want fruitive results from them. They please them by offering certain things. They perform the homas and pujas and they ask for material benedictions. Kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. And those devatas also being pleased by them, they reward them without considering what will happen to them by receiving the reward. And there are people who worship Lord Shiva for benedictions. And Lord Shiva also, he gives them, he quickly becomes pleased and benefits them by rewards. So in this way, people, they approach various devatas for fruitive results. But one should understand that the benefits given by the devatas are temporary. Devatas themselves are temporary. The Devalokas, the heavenly planets in which the devatas live, that is also temporary. It all gets destroyed. The benefit of worshipping the Supreme Lord Krishna directly is that Krishna will supply everything we require for our own pleasure while living in this material world, and He awards liberation. He will take us back to the spiritual world where we can enjoy with Him forever, eternally. So what more benefit do we want? So Krishna is telling that we have to actually worship the Supreme Lord Krishna directly and not go here and there to different devatas. Of course, we have to respect Devatas because they are agents of the Supreme Lord. So they deserve respect. But we should not confuse that they are Supreme Lord Himself. Worshipping Devatas is not equal to worshipping Supreme Lord Krishna. So we have to understand this difference. And worshipping Krishna will give us permanent benefit. Worshipping Devatas will not give us permanent benefit. So we have to understand these points. Then further Krishna says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So in this material world, every living being is under the influence of three modes of material nature. Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Sattva-guna means mode of goodness, Rajoguna means mode of passion, Tamoguna means mode of ignorance. So according to one's own acquired nature, we get our nature as a mixture, combination of these three modes. Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. All these three gunas in different proportions will be there in every individual living being. Living in Sattva-guna will give us knowledge and the actions will be pleasing and it will elevate us gradually for higher and higher spiritual understanding. The Rajoguna will make us work hard, it gives us pain. Tamoguna gives us ignorance, indolence and sleep. These are all described more elaborately by Krishna in the upcoming chapters. We will understand more about these three modes. So Krishna is telling He created the four divisions of human society according to the three modes of material nature. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. So in this material world, human society is organized in four groups according to one's own guna and karma, one's own acquired nature and the work ascribed according to those natures. Those who are prominently in the mode of goodness, they are called the Brahmanas or the intelligent class of people. They understand who am I, who is God, what is the purpose of life, and they are called the leaders. They know what is life and how to be happy. It is their duty to practice these principles given in the scriptures and teach this to all other human beings in the society. So that is Brahmana class. The second class is those category of people who are in the mode of passion. They are very much bodily influenced. They think that I am this body and they are dedicated to their body and bodily expansions, wife, children and nation, and they work hard to achieve various fruitive results, material desires. And they are mostly administrative class, Kshatriyas. They want to rule over, they want to control. And so Kshatriya category of people, those who are in managerial affairs, they are the second category who are influenced by the mode of passion. The third category of people are those who are in the mixed modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. They are called the Vaishyas or the mercantile community. Their work is to take care of cows, to produce food grains, agriculture, to do business. This is the work ascribed for the Vaishya category, those who are in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. And the fourth category of people in the human society are predominantly in the mode of ignorance. They are called the Shudras or the laborer category. They work under the three upper categories, that is the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas. In this way, Krishna has organized the human society into these four divisions for gradual spiritual upliftment. Brahmanas will guide the entire human society. Kshatriyas will manage the human society so that everyone has their respective duties to do. They are under the guidance of Brahmanas, so they will implement the advice given by the Brahmanas for the spiritual upliftment of the society. And the Vaishyas, they produce food grains and they trade, they do business. And the Shudras, they are under the care and protection of the upper categories. So in this way, when the human society is organized according to one's own acquired nature, it's not that Brahmanas son is also a Brahmana, or a Shudra son is also a Shudra. It is all by one's quality. Any person can be trained to become a Brahmana, any person can be trained to become a Kshatriya, provided he is having those qualities acquired by him. So this is the right understanding we should have. Many people have misconception about these 4 divisions. They want to reject these 4 divisions, thinking that Shudras are harassed by the upper category of people, and in that way they have a misunderstanding. Actually, these 4 divisions are the divisions made according to one's own qualities. Those who are in ignorance, they are of one category. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, they are another category. Those who are influenced in the mode of passion, Rajoguna, they are one category. So in that way, categories are made by one's own qualities and work. Just like those who study engineering, even in engineering there is computer science, information science, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics engineering. So there are categories according to the divisions of subject they are learning and the training they receive. They are all different categories. There are doctors, even in medical science there are many divisions. So divisions are made based on one's work and qualities. So we should not feel that why they are called doctors, why they are called engineers, why we are not equal to them. In that way we cannot protest or think that there is a certain discrimination. Discrimination is natural based on one's qualities and work. So in the same way, the whole human society is divided into 4 divisions according to one's acquired nature. And Krishna says that he has divided the whole human society into 4 divisions. He is not under those categories because he is transcendental, he is Supreme Lord. He does not belong to any of these categories. He is not a conditioned soul like us. We are all conditioned by the modes of nature, but Krishna is not conditioned because material nature is Krishna's energy. Material energy acts under the direction of Krishna. And the devotees of Krishna, those who are pure devotees of Krishna, they also do not belong to any one of these categories because they are purely connected to Krishna and they only serve Krishna. So in this way we have to understand these 4 divisions that are existing in this human society naturally, and it is not caste system which is misunderstood by many people. Further Krishna says, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mamyobhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. So, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha. Krishna has no work to do in this material world because he is God, he is Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord has nothing to achieve, nothing to do. Everything belongs to him. Namam karmani limpanti, and he is not affected by any actions he performs. Whatever actions he performs, that is out of his own sweet will he performs, and there is no reaction for that. In this material world, when we perform any action, there is a reaction to it, either in the form of pain or pleasure, profit or loss. So these are the reactions of the actions we perform. But Krishna is Supreme Lord. He performs actions just for his own sweet will, just for pleasing his devotees. He has no other purpose. Iti mam yobhijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. If we understand all these aspects of Lord Krishna in reality, we also will be free from the reactions to fruitive works. Every living being is experiencing the reactions of his own past fruitive actions. But when we understand Krishna properly and when we connect with Krishna in love and devotion, we will become free from the reactions which are yet to come, and because of those fruitive reactions, we become entangled in this material world and we suffer. But by understanding Krishna properly, we become free from all those past reactions that are yet to come. Further Krishna says, Yevam nyatva kritam karma purvairapi mumokshubhihi puru karmaiva tasmatvam purvataram kritam. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. If you recall, Krishna, he had instructed this science of yoga, Bhagavad Gita, to sun god Vivaswan. Vivaswan, he is the administrator, he is the president of sun planet, he is ruling over sun planet under the directions given by Krishna. Krishna has given the divine knowledge to him. He has established the entire society in sun planet according to the directions given by Krishna for the spiritual upliftment of all the inhabitants of sun planet. And he has become perfect. He has become liberated by acting according to the directions given by Krishna. In the same way, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you also act under my directions. I am the Supreme Lord. I am directly telling you that you fight and you kill all these assembled kings who are opposing the Vedic culture, who are against devotion to me. So you kill all of them and establish religious principles in the society. And you become liberated, you become perfect by working for my pleasure. So this is what Krishna wants Arjuna to do. And we all have to follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. Arjuna, in the end of the Bhagavad Gita, he gives up his own personal ideas and he surrenders to Krishna and he fights very vigorously. In the same way, we all may have different understandings of life, but we have to give up all those understandings which are all imperfect understandings and take up to Krishna consciousness. Whatever Krishna says, whatever Guru says, we just have to accept them and they're all good for us. We will be happy by following the instructions given by Krishna and the spiritual master. So we will understand further instructions of Krishna in the upcoming sections. Hare Krishna.